Hello, and welcome back to Emporio's Financial Literacy series. My name is Lauren, and today I will be covering the most effective debt repayment strategies. Let's get started. As of 2023, over 46 million people in America owed money for student debts alone, not to mention other credit card debt or personal loans. Even if it seems too overwhelming to overcome, there are methods that, coupled with discipline and consistency, can help you strategically tackle your debt. In this video, I will run through how to tee up and best choose a debt repayment strategy. Then I will discuss the snowball method, the avalanche method, the debt consolidation method, and finish up with some other tips to take into account. All right, how do you choose the best debt repayment method for you? Well, first you need to step back and assess your situation. Make a list of all your debts and be sure to note how much you owe, your interest rate, and the minimum monthly payment for each debt. Once you have organized all of this information, you should review your credit score and report so that you know exactly where you stand and what interest rates you would be able to get in case you're interested in a debt consolidation loan, which I will touch on later. Once you have done this, you will need to create a budget if you don't have an existing one, or revise what you have to calculate and maximize the extra cash that you could put towards paying off your loans. Once you have a better idea of how much you can afford to set aside, think about which of the strategies that I will touch on would best suit your circumstances and give you the most success. Once you have decided on an option, consistency is crucial. Without discipline and consistency, none of the methods will give the results that you're looking for. Okay, this brings me to our first method, the snowball strategy. It is important to note with all the strategies that while they tell you exactly which loan to put any extra money towards, they all require you to make minimum monthly payments on all of your debts so that they don't get out of control. If you don't make minimum payments and focus all on one loan, you'll be one step forward on your initial target loan, but five steps backwards on all the others, which hurts you in the long run. With the snowball strategy, you focus on the size of the loan. It has you start with the smallest balance due and work your way up towards the bigger ones. Any extra money that you have left over each month, with all your minimum payments considered, will go to the smallest loan that you have, and once this is gone, you will chip away at the next smallest. This method gives you quick wins initially, as the smaller loans are quicker and easier to pay off. This motivates many people to keep going and is a psychologically proven winner. However, since you may have higher interest on some of your larger loans that you are wanting to target, you may end up paying more interest over time since you won't get to those loans until later. So while this method is a great way to stay disciplined and motivated, it does come at a price, costing you more over time. Next, we have the avalanche strategy, which focuses on the loan or debt with the highest interest rate. The longer you owe money at a high interest rate, the more interest you will accrue. So if you knock out those loans first, then you will pay less money overall. Again, in this method, you will want to continue making minimum payments on all of your debts, but put any extra money towards the highest interest debt, and once it's paid off, you continue down the ladder. While this method helps you pocket extra cash in the long run, it can be very frustrating and requires a lot of self discipline. Since you are starting with larger loans and higher interests, it will take longer to pay off and may feel like you are stuck and not making any progress. You have to be willing to see it through and be consistent despite the uphill climb and the absence of easy wins and morale boosts that are present with the snowball method. Next, we have the debt consolidation method. This is a good option if you have a good credit score that would make you eligible for lower interest rates, as well as a group of other higher interest loans that you would consider consolidating. This approach allows you to combine several smaller debts that have higher interest rates into one larger one with a lower interest debt consolidation loan. This will reduce the money that you spend on interest and is more organized, since all those smaller debts are now just one to manage. This is a very good option if you have high interest credit card debt, student loans, or lots of personal loans. And lastly, here are some closing tips to help with debt repayment. First, automating your payments. This helps ensure that you pay your minimum payments consistently and takes away any temptation to use that money for something else. You can have the money in your checking account transferred automatically to loans or credit cards to help you stay on top of it. Another option is to increase your income by taking on a side job, doing freelance work, or looking into a higher paying role. With more cash coming in, you can take larger chips out of your loans and pay them off sooner. Lastly, if this is very overwhelming or if you've tried these methods without success, you may want to get professional advice in the form of a financial advisor or credit counseling agency. These are the sources that I used in this video. As always, if you're interested in taking a deeper dive into these topics, please explore the sources here. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this video has taught you something new and helped you on your financial journey.